Before we get to today's video, the giveaway for the air cleaner has ended. And I wrote down everybody who bought something off the website's name for every dollar that they spent. So if you spent $40, I wrote your name down 40 different times, cut it all into little slivers of paper, wrestled them all up, put them in a hat, shook them all up, and then I let my 3-year-old turtle pull the name. So if anybody wants to get mad because I didn't win, get mad at my 3-year-old, and that probably won't go over very well for you. Anyways, just teasing. Anyways, Turtle, my 3-year-old, pulled the name out of the hat, and the winner of the Dog Dish Hubcap air cleaner is Shane Roberts. So Shane Roberts, I will be getting a hold of you, letting you know about shipping and all that stuff. And congratulations on the win, and thank you to everybody that participated. I really appreciate it, and my family really appreciates it. So let's get to the video. Hey everybody, welcome to Harmon Garage. I'm Aaron, and today is the day after Christmas. So Tuesday, December 26th. And before anything else, I just want to say Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever you prefer to you and your family. I hope everybody's was great. I hope everybody did something fun and whatever else, but just wanted to say from me and mine to you and yours, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and thanks for watching. But with that being said, we're getting back on Marlboro Man. I'm really close to having this thing wrapped up. As far as we're going with it, I'm pretty sure I mentioned to you guys before that we're putting the motor in, running the wiring harness, getting pretty much everything ready to where this thing will run and drive. And then it's going to the owner's buddy's shop to get a little bit of tuning done, get the vats turned off, yada, yada, yada. So I don't have the software to be able to do that. So he's taking it over there, and once I get done with it, it'll be done. He'll take it over there. They'll tinker with a couple little buttons on a computer. This thing should fire up and be ready to go. I'm hoping once he gets it fired up and ready to go and puts the right tires on the front and puts the front bumper back on it, he'll bring it over here so I can video it a little bit running and whatnot for you guys so you can see it done. But either way, we're doing all the hard work. Somebody else is getting all the satisfaction. So that being said, somebody put the relay kit for the power windows in, and this is the wiring they left. We're gonna fix that. Got my radiator tie downs. Still have to put the radiator in. Still gotta hook the throttle cable up. We got a cold air intake for it, which will help with our mass airflow sensor. We got new spark plug wires that'll work with the headers. We got O2 sensors we gotta put in and plug in. Yada, yada, yada. Got new U-joints for the drive shafts. Gotta put the U-joints in, the drive shafts, put the drive shafts in. I have to fabricate up some sort of mount for this computer up here, get the harness hooked up, and hook up the rest of the wires from the harness that go to ignition switch and whatever else. And then I have to finish whatever wiring is not done on the Dakota digitals and put the dash all back together. So let's see how it goes. I'm gonna just kind of say, yeah, this is what we're doing and do this, and this is what we're doing and do this, and show you guys as we carry on and the progress that we make. And before the end of this video, we're hoping this thing will be ready to go. So I'm gonna get to it. Y'all hang tight, and we'll see how it goes. All right. I should have just scrapped the footage before this and started a new video, but I put a lot of stuff in there that's important, and I wanted to get it out. So we're gonna leave it on there. With that being said, I started filming this video Saturday before Christmas. It is now Tuesday after New Year's. And it's been great, fun, wonderful holiday season. I pretty much couldn't even get out of the bed for the last 6 days or so, and had family stuff, had people come to town to visit. Just a mix of being sick and a mix of needing to be with my family. So it's been rough. I don't remember exactly where I left off, but I know I was working on Marlboro Man. And I remember that I did an intro and talked about putting the radiator in, which we got done. So the radiator's in. And then I started messing around. We ordered spark plugs for it because, or wires, not spark plugs, wires. Because these wires that were on here have the straight boots. And if you put them down here on the plug, they don't even really go on the plug because they sit against the header tube. That's not gonna work. You run the truck and it melts them off and it arcs out and you got messes and so on and so forth. So we got these LS wires, coil on top of valve cover, and they've got like a, I don't know, porcelain or ceramic something coating on them to help with heat. And I found the best way. I put one on just to make sure it was gonna fit. That one does fit, and I found out the best way to do it is to put it on what I consider to be upside down, and then it has a nice form to go to get the wire down there where it needs to be. So I got one on. I've got 7 more I gotta put on. So I'm gonna go ahead and knock that out. We'll get all the spark plugs on. I told you there's a bunch of other stuff we gotta do. We gotta change out the throttle cable. I've already got the new one halfway on, but I gotta get the old one out of the firewall, put the new one in the firewall, hook it up. We got a cold air intake to put on this thing. We gotta figure out belts and hoses, and there's a lot of stuff we gotta do. So this video is gonna be putting stuff together. I mean, that's the only way to finish something, is to work on it. And I'm not 110% on top of my prime right now, but this is all stuff that's not that difficult. I still got to get underneath and put in O2 sensors. I still got to fix drive shafts. I still got to do a little tiny bit of welding on the exhaust. It's pretty much done. I just got a spot on each side that's tacked that we have to weld up, and then we can tighten up the flanges at the headers. And then, other than that, fuel lines, tranny cooler lines. I'm gonna have to get part numbers and stuff and give them to the owner so that we can get what we need for that. Get those done, and then we gotta do the wiring inside. So it's gonna be fun. I'm gonna get these spark plug wires on, decide what process I'm gonna do next. I'll bring you guys back and show you what we're doing. All right, I'll just give you guys a little update real quick. I've just kind of been taking my time. Like I said, I'm not 100%. I don't have a lot of energy, so just kind of been taking my time, putting together stuff that not really big ordeal, huge thing, you know, just stuff that's got to be done. But all our spark plug wires are put on both sides. They're not touching the headers. They worked out good. I got my wire for my charge wire for my alternator cleaned up and put on. I have to find a nut for that still, which I keep forgetting about. I got our serpentine belt on, and I don't know if I ever talked about it in a video before, but I've talked about it with the owner of the truck. And the motor sits kind of low in the chassis. At least I thought it did, but it really doesn't. And I didn't think that a stock fan shroud was gonna work. He had a stock fan shroud, but they must have screwed up when he ordered, because he ended up with 2 tops. A 2-piece fan shroud, they ended up with 2 tops and no bottoms. And so I didn't think it was gonna fit. I didn't think that it would go underneath the fan and the fan still have room to do its thing. I found a bottom. I went digging through my warehouse, I don't have a warehouse. I've got crap scattered everywhere, but I started digging through my crap and I found, believe it or not, I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but I found a lower shroud. And just a lower shroud. I didn't have a top for it. Well, he had a top, I had a bottom. Things kind of worked out good. They bolted right in there. And once again, I'm gonna get a flashlight so you guys can see this. Not that you need to, and you might be able to, but we'll get a flashlight and we'll show you. By the way, these magnetic fender covers from Square Body Nation, I'm not sponsored by them. I'm not trying to tell you to go buy one, but I will tell you that they are the cat's meow. They got magnets in them, clip on. They're really soft on the inside, and I've been leaning over this thing a lot, and it's come in handy. It's nice and easy. It's not like one of those ones that just hooks over the side and it's always falling off. So it's pretty cool. But anyways, now you can see down there, I got it in. Fan spins fine. It's not hitting anything. I'm caught. So I wasn't really sure what I was gonna do for fan shroud. Sorry guys, my nose is itching like crazy. I don't know what the heck it is. I think I got into some fiberglass out there when I was looking for the fan shroud in the shed, but either way. I was wondering what I was gonna do about a fan shroud. I was thinking up how I could kind of use the upper piece and make sides that went down to the frame rail for the bottom or something. But I found that it went in there, it fit. Thumbs up, we're good. Got the upper radiator hose on. I think I already showed you I got the belt on. We need a lower radiator hose. We had the upper radiator hose for the LS, which is what we need. The lower hose that we have is from the Square Body, which isn't gonna work. So we need a lower radiator hose for, like an 01 Tahoe. We'll get one of those, no big deal. But it's coming along. All this stuff is bolted in. I'd like to have some P-clamps to hold this hose in place so it's not vibrating on the plastic and whatnot. I don't have any that size, so I might make some, or I might go buy some, but I don't know. We'll get that tied down. The engine compartment's coming together. Like I said, I need that lower hose. Need to hook up battery cables. I don't remember what this is called off the top of my head. It's like the intake air temperature sensor or something. I gotta see if I have one. If I don't, we need to get one of those. Pretty sure that's where this is supposed to plug into, right there. And we got our cold air intake to put on and get mocked up. I just realized that I need to hook up our vacuum line for our brakes. We still got to do our throttle cable, which I'll show you guys what's going on there in a few minutes. And yeah, so I'm just trucking along, trying to get stuff done. I was hoping to get this video up today, but it's already starting to get late and cold, and I'm not feeling good enough to do the late and cold today. I'm gonna try to get the engine compartment done today, and then we can go underneath and do the drive shafts and finish up a little bit on the exhaust and stuff tomorrow. And then I think that's probably gonna be it for this one. And then all that'll be left is wiring and plumbing, fuel lines, and training cooler lines, which will be another video. So I'm gonna keep going. I'll show you guys the cool part about the throttle cables in a second. And I'm gonna get a couple more little things done, and then we'll get back and update you again. Okay, so real quick, last thing for today. Like I said, I'm real slow, just kind of meandering through stuff just to make progress and get something done. But I got the throttle cable, the original throttle cable out, and this is what we have. This is square, got 2 butterflies on it. Then our cable goes through, and it's got a cable stop that clips onto the pedal. Now, this is, we ordered a cable for a 2001 Tahoe. it's round. The hole that goes through the firewall is round, but it's got the same two kind of clips on it, and it'll fit through the roundish rectangle hole that's in there. And then we got our cable, and we got our end that clips into our throttle pedal. So it attaches to the throttle pedal the exact same way that the factory one did. So rather than getting universal aftermarket throttle cables, you buy a stock throttle cable for a 2001 Tahoe. If you need to, sometimes you do, you can get like a step bit and go in there and clean that hole up so it's a little bit more round, and then put that in. But generally the round part on that 2001 cable will slide right into that rectangle hole and clip in, and then you got your throttle cable that's long enough to go up to your drive-by cable. That's if you're using drive-by cable. If you're using drive-by wire, it's a whole nother ordeal, but we're not on this one, so we don't need to get into it. So I need to get that throttle cable stabbed in to the firewall there. And then I can put my engine cover on or not. And we need to do our cold air intake. And I need to put on the vacuum hose from the booster to the intake, and put on the return line for the power steering pump. The reason I'm telling you guys all this is so when I come back over here in the morning, I can rewatch this clip and remember what I have to do, because it's getting cold and the light's going down and I'm still not feeling the greatest. So I want to get home instead of getting even more frigid than I already am, staying sick longer. So tomorrow we'll make a list and we'll go from there, but we're getting pretty close to being done with the engine compartment. So I'll see you guys right now. All right, well, it's the following day and it's in the afternoon and it's almost time for me to go home. And you guys are probably going, what the heck, you've been there all day and haven't filmed anything? Yeah, it's pretty much what happened. I did work on Marlboro Man a decent amount of the day. The owner came over and brought me some parts. Some of the parts, so you had to go get more. He's supposed to bring them tomorrow. But anyways, we got, let me get a flashlight. I'll show you why I didn't really film anything today. I did a couple things up here under the hood. It's raining and way too cold for me outside. Doors closed, a little bit of a barrier. Not much light here, hard. So anyways, we got our fittings for our AN lines, for our tranny cooler. If I can find it, where the heck is it at? There it is. Got another one down there. We got the ones for the transmission side. I have not got them hooked up yet or put on yet. And he ordered the hose to make the lines. So I also got our fitting for our fuel feed put on, and we got our fitting that adapts it to the original fuel line from this, because this has the metal and braided throttle body lines. I need to kind of bend that a little bit, and then I just need to run a line from there to there. No big deal. We need to run a return. You guys can see down in there. Maybe look down past the header. I got both the O2 sensors in, and I got both O2 sensors in, and I got the exhaust all buttoned up, so that's done. Just a lot of little stuff, but it takes a lot of time. I mean, I've got probably five or 6 hours in today buttoning the exhaust up the rest of the way. I had to do some welding on it. I had to tighten it all down. I had to get the O2 sensors in it. I had to modify the driver's side because I checked to make sure that the O2 sensors were gonna clear before I welded everything, and in the process something moved and it wasn't clearing, so I had to modify that a little bit to make that fit. And there's just a lot going on. So I'm at the point where I need to make a list because I've got stuff that started that I haven't finished, and I have stuff that I haven't started but I have to finish. So I don't want to forget anything, and I need to write everything down because we're at that point. And if you've watched the channel for a long time, you know that when we make a list, we're getting close. So here we go. I got the power steering return. I got it screwed into the box. I have the hose cut to the right length. I need to put it on the reservoir and put a clamp on it. So there's that. Hook up O2 sensors. I got them in, got them tight. Exhaust is done. I did not plug them in and tie the wires up. Battery cable. To starter. I already got the ground on. The motor, I have not run the battery, the positive. Finish, fuel, feed, line, fuel, return, U-joints, drive shafts, throttle cable is most of the way done, but not finished. What else? Lower rad hose, change oil, wire gauges, wire computer, we need to put block ground on. I just put ground, I'll figure it out. I don't know how to write or spell. Is there anything else? Wire the gauges, wire the computer, hook up the fuel lines, tranny, cooler lines, cold air intake. He's supposed to be bringing me a new map sensor. Trying to think. I think that's it. I mean, we're really getting close. Not that much left to do. The reason I did mostly underneath stuff today and didn't film much is because I'm a wuss and it's cold and my shop heat, yeah, that's all I got. My shop heat was aimed underneath the truck, and the air in the shop, I got it up to 43 degrees, and I was probably at 50, 55 underneath the truck with that heater blowing on me, which I'll say was tolerable, but that's it. So anyways, like I said, I worked most of the day. Owner of the truck was over here for a little bit. We went over a bunch of stuff, looked at a bunch of stuff. He's happy with the way it's coming. and we're gonna keep doing what we do. He's supposed to meet me here first thing in the morning with lower radiator hoses and some more parts. Somehow my hat got all funky, I don't know. Supposed to meet me with some more of the parts that I need. We ordered the lines to make the tranny cooler lines, so it could be a little while before, a week or so before they get here. But I think other than that, we'll have everything else to do everything that we need to do. So I'm gonna come in the morning. I'm gonna bust out a couple more things that I wanna bust out to finish this video. And that's it, so see you in a minute again. All right, we got another day of solid progress going on here on Marlboro Man. I've been over here for probably 3 hours already and been making progress. So I think I showed you guys yesterday that I have my fuel feed line made. I got my fitting on my fuel rail. I got my fitting there. I need to make a line that goes in between, but I'm short one fitting to do it. I've got a braided, the original braided slash hard line coming up. I flared the end of it, and I got a flare on the rail here with the 400 PSI hose and good hose clamps running our return. So our fuel lines are plumbed. Well, with the exception of that little piece of braided line that I need to make. I have the line, I have one fitting. I'm short one fitting. Owner of the truck's supposed to be bringing me one. So let's walk over and look at our to-do list here. See what I got done today. I got power steering return line done, check. Hook up O2 sensors, route wiring, tie everything up, done, check. Battery cable to starter, tighten everything down, tie everything up, check. Fuel return, I just told you about that, done. Throttle cable, forgot to tell you, finished that up. Throttle cable's done, and all the grounds are done. So, fuel feed line I need another fitting for. Lower radiator hose hasn't made it here yet, don't have oil and filter. We're gonna save all the wiring to do it one time. Tranny cooler lines, I put the fittings in the side of the transmission, and let me tell you what, that was a fun job. But anyways, they're in there. I need fittings and line, which are ordered to finish those. We got cold air intake, map sensor that we're waiting for, and I've got to mount the computer, which I'll do when I wire it. So basically, waiting on parts, not gonna do right now, waiting on parts, not gonna do right now. So only thing I got left on my list that I can actually do is U-joints in the drive shaft, U-joints here, and cold air intake right there in that box. So that's what we're gonna do to finish out today. And that's what we're gonna do to finish out this video. So I'm gonna yank the drive shafts are just laying on the floor underneath the truck. I'm gonna yank them out. We'll stab some U-joints in them, and then we'll install them, and then we'll do a cold air intake. All right, well, I checked the U-joints before I got started, and the one that we need for the front is correct. The one that we need for the back is not. So I'll go ahead and change out the front one, give us something to do, and then we'll have to take the one for the back to the store and exchange it, and we'll catch up with it later. So this one's got external snap rings. Sometimes they come out easy, sometimes they don't, but I just take a needle nose, pinch them together, try to get them to move, and pop them out. Do the same thing on the other side. The biggest part is they get all dirty and crusty in the grooves that they sit in, and trying to get the whole thing out of the groove. Like so. Alright, got that done. Now you want to be really, really gentle and yeah, knock this out. By really gentle, I mean hit it until it comes out. far as that wants to go that way. There is better ways to do that, or other ways to do that, but that way's always worked for me. So, got our new U-joint here. It's fancy too, heavy duty, anodized black caps. Might be too good for me. Be careful, take these off. Check and make sure all our needles are good. And now we'll screw up, have needles bent over in there and everything else 6 or 7 times, and then we'll get mad and then we'll finally get it in. Because that's just usually how it goes. Once in a lifetime, you get lucky, and it pops right in the first time. I guess this is that one time. Two of our snap rings here. Pop this back in the same way we took it out. Like so. Roll it over. Have this side down. And then here. Alright. Got some tension on our U-joint, and honestly, probably one of the easier ones I've ever done. Usually they get seized up in there and they get stuck and they fight and everything else you can think of, and they're just a pain. But these, that wasn't the case. It went smooth. So thanks to you guys for watching, because if you wouldn't have been watching, it would have been a struggle. But since you're watching, and I told you it was going to be a struggle, it wasn't. Alright, I'm going to go put this drive shaft back in, and then I'll catch back up with you after that. Alright, I got the U-joint in the front drive shaft. I got the front drive shaft installed, and I was just kind of looking over things, and I realized that it's got the coolant tubes that run through the corners of the heads. I'm totally drawing a blank. 10 seconds ago I knew exactly what it was called. Anyways, the coolant little crossovers, and they go into the throttle body, and the coolant runs through the throttle body for cooling, and then it comes out and goes over to the surge tank. Well, we don't have an LS surge tank. We have the factory overflow bottle from the K5. So what I did is, we got our hose here coming out of the radiator, going down here. I cut it, put a T in it, ran this hose up Over to here, we're gonna be able to tie it off down here with our heater hoses, and that's gonna put it, and it can loop into the radiator or back into the surge tank, whichever way it needs to go. But that allows that to be hooked up and keep coolant flowing the way it's supposed to. I have seen people just unhook those, cap them so it doesn't run through there, but it's there. We have a way to hook it up, so why not? And it's driving me nuts because I know what that DEG system is called, that coolant system's called, and I can't remember for the life of me. Steam ports. Dang it, the dang steam ports. It hooks up to the steam ports, goes through the throttle body. You get the picture. Nobody probably cares. Anyways, steam vents, steam ports, whatever you want to call it. We got the drive shaft in. I got a bunch of work done underneath, so I figure I'll run this thing up on the lift real quick so I can take you guys underneath it and show you what I got done. So we'll just run it up on the lift real quick. Yeah, I'm just messing around. We ain't got no lifts here. Anyways, you can see from here, drive shaft is in. Everything is good. It's all tight. Next thing we're gonna do, we have a somewhat universal, somewhat for an LS motor, cold air intake. Comes with our boots, comes with our filter, comes with our tube. We got some brackets on there to tie it off the stuff. We're not gonna be able to use the box that comes with it because the box that comes with it goes on a Tahoe and it would go where the battery is on this, and we can't take the battery out for the air cleaner, so we're gonna have to modify a little bit to make things fit where we need them to fit. But I'm gonna set the camera up over here. We're gonna get this stuff up here and we're gonna get a cold air intake put in. Super difficult installation? Not really. We got our silicone boot here, and it's got a 90. The short side is gonna go on here, on the throttle body. So I'm going to snug it, but I'm not going to tighten it down because we don't know exactly where it needs to go until we get the tube on. So we'll just get that snug down. And we got our tube here. Here. I put this in probably a lot further than you normally would because I want it a certain way for our radiator hose here. So, alright, I'm gonna tighten that down. I think we should be able to tighten this down. And hopefully we have enough room for our mechanical sensor and our filter, which This sucker came with the granddaddy of all air filters. So, it's freaking huge. But we'll make it fit. Just putting this filter together because for some reason they come in pieces. We'll get that on. Need to, oh, that's good. Where is this coming from? Right there. And our mass airflow sensor is not long enough. It needs, the wiring is not long enough for this at all. Unless it's tied up over here somewhere. So, let's see. No, really not. That's all we got. They really kind of shorted us on that. But, let's see where it plugs in at. Let's see what we can do here, because we can probably just cut this tube short. And do something along those lines right there. And we'll just have a short intake. And then we won't have to worry about our filter being so long, because it'll be okay. And that ought to do it. I think maybe, because that's so low, I run that wire underneath the intake. We're either going to get more or less. We'll try that. On here. That should. It's gonna be looser once I cut it off. So let me get a marker. Take this over on the bandsaw, cut it, about right where it gets straight. And we'll just have us a little tiny 90 in there with our mass airflow sensor and filter on it. And that'll be good enough. So let me go get this cut real quick. We'll do what we gotta do and get her finished up. Alright, here I am being an extremely awesome YouTuber again. I went over and cut the tube, came back, started tossing it together, and never turned you guys back on. So I shortened it up. We just got a nice little 90 big 4-inch tube stuffed right down the throat of this little 5.3. We got plenty of slack here. You guys probably can't see that well, but plenty of slack on our wire so it's not pulled tight. Nice and rigid. I will make a little support sooner or later before the truck leaves that goes somewhere, just so it doesn't, I mean, it's not going anywhere. I just don't, it's not touching the radiator hose right now, but I just want to make sure it doesn't. So later on, before the truck leaves, I'll make some sort of little support for it, but other than that, it's nice and high up out of the way, and nice and short, good for performance, and yeah, it's not in the way of anything. It's gonna leave it. He's got a Dirty Dingo high mount AC setup that he's gonna put on later. We're not doing that right now. Got plenty of room to get to our oil fill, got plenty of room for our overflow, got plenty of room for our battery and everything. Alright, so it works out, everything works out good. So I'm going to set you guys up. The only thing I'm worried about is it being high and hitting the hood. So we're going to, I'm going to put you guys in position here on the side. And then I'm going to slowly put the hood down and need you guys to let me know if it's hitting it. I don't see any marks on anything. This doesn't appear to have moved. Still in the exact same spot. I don't think we're hitting the hood. I think it's good. I'm gonna bring you guys back and show you what it looks like from up top. All right, before anything else, we're gonna come over here to our list and mark off what we got done, because that's more important than anything else. The smaller this list gets, the closer we are to finishing this thing. And that's what our goal is. So cold air intake, bang, done. U-joints, drive shafts, we only already halfway done, so we're not going to mark that off yet. But our list is a lot closer than it was when we got here this morning, and waiting on parts. I mean, we got waiting on parts. So that's about as far as we can go with what we have right now. Sorry guys, I'm cleaning up this plastic bag, the wind's blowing it around. So we can't do much more, but here's how our intake turned out. Got a nice 90. It's real rigid. I mean, like I said, I'll put a little brace. I don't know, it kind of depends. For now, I could put a brace off of the head, and later on when we do the AC mount, I might have to move it, but we'll figure that out later. But it's pretty stout. I mean, it's not like it's gonna hurt anything. It's just sitting there. So cold air intake's done. A lot of other stuff got done in this video. Like I said, guys, this video's not probably up to par with what I normally do, or depending on what you think of my videos, you might like this better. But I haven't been feeling the greatest. I'm feeling better now. We're doing good. I worked through it. I got a bunch of stuff done on this, which I'm excited about because once again, we got to get it done. So yeah, I want to say once again, congratulations to Shane on winning the air cleaner. I'll get in touch with you and we'll work out shipping arrangements or whatever. And if you guys haven't already, please go check out the merch store, www.harmongarage.net. See if there's something on there you might want, because I would love to send you something if you do. And that's pretty much gonna do it. We've come a long way. We don't got that much left. But thank you guys so much for watching. If it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be able to do this. Y'all have a good one. We'll see you next time.